Tonight I'm going to begin with a reading of two letters by Dr. Jung about women. Since most of the subscribership on this YouTube channel is young men, obviously you would want to know something about women. So I'm going to begin with that. Tonight I'm beginning with a letter that was provided to me by Louis LaFontaine, who operates the Carl Jung Depth Psychology site blog. And he every day posts letters and other things of interest from Dr. Jung's oeuvre. This first is a letter that Dr. Jung wrote in 1941. Women are a magical force. They surround themselves with an emotional tension stronger than the rationality of men. Woman is a very, very strong being, magical. That is why I am afraid of women. The demands of the unconscious act at first like a paralyzing poison on a man's energy and resourcefulness, so that it may well be compared to the bite of a poisonous snake. Apparently, it is a hostile demon who robs him of energy, but in actual fact, it is his own unconscious whose alien tendencies are beginning to check the forward striving of the conscious mind. The cause of this process is often extremely obscure, the more so as it is complicated by all kinds of external factors and subsidiary causes, such as difficulties in work, disappointments, failures, reduced efficiency due to age, depressing family problems, and so on and so forth. According to the myths, it is the woman who secretly enslaves a man, so that he can no longer free himself from her and becomes a child again. It is also significant that Isis, the sister wife of the sun god, creates the poisonous serpent from his spittle, which, like all bodily secretions, has a magical significance, being a libido equivalent. She creates the serpent from the libido of the god, and by this means weakens him and makes him dependent on her. Delilah acts in the same way with Samson. By cutting off his hair, the sun's rays, she robs him of his strength. This demon woman of mythology is in truth the sister, wife, mother, the woman in the man, who unexpectedly turns up during the second half of life and tries to effect a forcible change of personality. I have dealt with certain aspects of this change in my essay on the stages of life. It consists in a partial feminization of the man and a corresponding masculinization of the woman. Often it takes place under very dramatic circumstances. The man's strongest quality, his logos principle, turns against him and, as it were, betrays him. The same thing happens with the eros of the woman. The man becomes rigidly set in his previous attitude, while the woman remains caught in her emotional ties and fails to develop her reason and understanding, whose place is then taken by equally obstinate and inept animus opinions. The fossilization of the man shrouds itself in a smokescreen of moods, ridiculous irritability, feelings of distrust and resentment, which are meant to justify his rigid attitude. A perfect example of this type of psychology is Schreber's account of his own psychosis, Memoirs of My Nervous Illness, which is mentioned Collected Works 5, paragraph 458. Okay, so that's that one. Okay, there's one other, and in this one, Dr. Jung says, the whole nature of man presupposes woman. There is no human experience nor would experience be possible at all without the intervention of a subjective attitude. What is this subjective attitude? Ultimately, it consists of an innate psychic structure which allows men to have an experience of this kind. The whole nature of man presupposes woman, both physically and spiritually. His system is tuned into woman from the start, just as it is prepared for a quite definite world where there is water, light, air, salt, and carbohydrates, etc. The form of the world into which he is born is already inborn in him as a virtual image. Likewise, parents, wife, children, birth, and death are inborn in him as virtual images, as psychic aptitudes. And that quote is from 2 essays on analytical psychology, Collected Works 7, paragraph 188.